Hi guys! So today I am doing a first impressions. I did go on a makeup run last night to Ulta. So I have a couple things that I've never used before. I have a lot that I've never used before. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hop right into it. Because I know, I gotta fix y'all. I know that this is gonna be a long video. So for primer, I'm using the Magic Perfecting Base. Now, I did use this yesterday when I made my royal blue and gold tutorial. And I kid you not, this is one of the best primers I've used. My foundation lasted over 17 hours, which is like crazy insane. And like, if you can tell, like, it's not like solid, it's like soft silicone. It's like a gel. That's the only way I can describe this. But it's super good for my skin. For some reason, my skin just did a lot better with this primer. Normally, I go for water-based. Or if I do go for silicone-based, I go for my Ulta ones. Because they're a little bit more, like, not so thick. They're, like, more... I don't know how to describe it. They're like a liquid thick. If that makes sense. Probably not. But, oh my goodness, their stuff really works. And I mean, I was out and about, like it was hot outside, and it lasted through all of that, which I'm super stoked about. I am going to be taking a couple drinks. This is just Snapple apple stuff. It tastes like apple juice, but better. Okay, for foundation, I'm using the Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation from NYX. I do have the concealer, but I've never tried the foundation, and people say like it's really good. And I'm actually really excited because it's starting to get hot. And I need a foundation that's going to last through not only my job, but not only through my first job, but just throughout the day in general. And I do have some new sponges and brushes to try with this too. I'm going to take this off. This is in the shade Pale, which is the lightest shade. And I do always go to the lightest shade for brands, because foundations tend to oxidize on me, and after a while they tend to be pretty, this feels so cool, they tend to be pretty just stuck in there, and it does change on me. So, and for my foundation, for the sponge side, because I have a sponge and a brush, so for the sponge I'm using the EcoTools one. I have the dark green one for my powder, but I'm going to be using this one. It's like a mint green color, but people say this one's really good for foundation. And then for the brush side, I am using the Airbrush Complexion Perfection brush in number 115. This is from IT Cosmetics for the Ulta brushes. And this is like super soft, it's super flexy. Now, I normally am not a fan of flexi brushes. Like, this one from BH Cosmetics is pretty dense, but it's fluffy at the same time. It's just like short, which, you know, is okay. I normally don't use brushes, but I just want to put everything to the test because I hear that this is the best complexion foundation brush. And I want to put it to the test because I'm curious. I mean, it does feel super soft. So I'm kind of excited. I'm just like, yay, makeup. Okay, so I am going to use the sponge side first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a fair chance. I'm going to shake it. It says shake well. So my boyfriend and I went out to Ulta last night, and my limit was $3.50. I made that my limit. I got all this stuff for $2.50. I'm very proud of myself. Okay. It's pretty thick. I mean, it's a little runny, but it's not like too runny. Okay. I'm gonna put the sponge side on this side. Doesn't have a smell. This is a new sponge, so I feel like it is gonna soak up a lot of the product. So far, it does shear it out a lot. I get about maybe like light to medium, because I do see redness still peeking through, if you can tell, like right in here. There's a little bit of redness coming through. I always love Eco2 sponges because they have that flat edge. Yeah, that's about a good medium coverage because I still see stuff peeking through. It's not bad. It is very... It's not quite... It's not like dry matte. It's like a satin matte, which is actually pretty nice. So there you can see the sponge side on this side and then ugly face on this side. It's actually not bad. Huh. Interesting. Okay, now here comes the brush side. So for the brush side, I'm gonna do the same amount. And for brushes, it tends to work better for me if I I have a tissue on the side, so that's the color. It's not bad. Okay, here we go with the brush. Right off the bat, this brush is a little awkward to work with. I'm gonna add some more. Okay, well, the brush works. It seems like you get the same amount of coverage. It's just a different way of applying it, so it's kind of like awkward looking. Now that I'm starting to notice this, you do get a lot less coverage on this side, and you get more on this side, which is really weird, because usually with sponge, you get like more cover, or with brushes you get more coverage, and with sponges you get less. Let me go back in with the sponge. And you know, foundations are different, so Hmm. I don't know if you can tell, but like it's... Let me see if I can get this up a little bit. You can see this side's more smooth. And this side it has like little like patches where the brush didn't cover. I would say like this brush would be better with thicker foundations or with stick foundations. For some reason with this, it just doesn't feel right. I think the formula for this is just too thin for it. It's not bad, but I just feel like it doesn't fit right with this foundation. Okay. And also when I got it, it came with like this little thing that goes on top. So what I'm going to try and do is put it back into here to keep it clean. Actually, let's just do this. To keep it clean and sanitized, which I like this. That's actually really helpful. And what I'm going to do is add another pump onto this side to even out everything. And I also want to see how well this layers. Now, when you do put on new products, your skin's going to act funny because it's not used to it. Which mine is itching a little bit, but that's because whenever you use new makeup products, it does, make you itch a little bit or burn because your body's not used to it. Now, if it gets really bad, then just don't use it. But it layers up really nice. Wowee. I do crease easily in my eyelids, so. And this is super squishy. I love how squishy it is. Yeah, I mean, that was beautiful coverage. I got an eye booger. But, like, that's beautiful. I ain't even gonna lie, that's pretty. I see what people are talking about. So this is good. I'll see how it wears throughout the day. But yeah, so far I really like this foundation. Okay, for concealer, I am using Tarte Shape Tape. I'm using it in a different shade. I did mention that I'm almost out of my other one. But that was in the shade Porcelain? I mean, not porcelain, fair. And what I noticed is that it's just a tad bit too dark. So I got porcelain beige, which I've never seen that before. So it must have came out after I got fair. But I am going to use this today. Oh, it smells so good. And for concealer, I'm using the new, well, it's not new, it's a couple years old, but it's a Morphe sponge. It's this one that all the beauty gurus use, but I actually quite like this. It's very dense, but it's kind of got a little bit of squish to it, and I love this flat edge right here. Okay, let me put this on. Man, it's still just a tad bit yellow, but I actually don't mind that because I have purple under eyes, so it's kind of like a color corrector. Okay, I'm going to be using this. Whoa. does feel very dense, but oh, I love that sharp edge. I love, 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 love. Whew, that blended out real quick. And look at that. Like, perfectly underneath the eyes. I do have to keep looking down in the mirror. I do have a smaller mirror that I can look into, but it doesn't have a light on it, so it's like harder to see like little imperfections. That is smooth. Oh, I love this. I love this. I love this. I love it. I'm definitely going to be using this more. Definitely going to be using this more. Okay, now I'm using the Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer in the shade Pale, which is the same shade as the foundation. Wait, I said that. That's so weird. I was actually super excited to go to Ulta last night because there's some stuff that I've been waiting on to get. I'm really excited to try a lot of the stuff out. I love trying new makeup. If it wasn't so hard to keep up with, I would do this every day. But life. Okay, I'm gonna use that sponge again. Oh, beautiful. Ooh, hit myself in the eye. Let's not do that. That's not good. If you hear that meowing in the back, that's my cat. I love her to bits, but sometimes when I'm recording, you can hear her meow, and it's like, love you, but don't be messing up my videos. That's all I ask. Okay, now for powder, I am using the Fenty Beauty Lavender powder. The reason why I'm using this is because I know how it behaves. And so I know that if something's not right, I know how this behaves, and so what I want to see is how it behaves with like this foundation and all of this. So I know if something's up, this will tell me. So I'm going to use the other side of this, her powder. Tap it off. Whoa, that picks up a lot of powder. She is highly upset. And I'm going to take whatever leftover powder is on that sponge and just use that to pack it on my eyes. Okay, I'm going to do the other side now. So far, from what I can see, is that this is really packing on the powder. Like, it is not playing games. I've seen a lot of people use this sponge. I've seen Jaclyn Hill use it. I've seen mostly Jaclyn Hill use this. I've seen, I believe it was Nikki Tutorials. I've seen use this. I've seen so many people use this. And when I see them use it on camera, they look flawless. And I'm like, I want that. I'm like, I want that a lot. So, here we are. I got it. Oh, okay. We may have had our first snag with the foundation. Our concealer. I don't know if you can tell, but it's breaking away right here. I'm gonna go back in with my foundation. Fun to fix that. Okay, well, I don't know if it's the foundation or the primer. It could be the primer, because technically the NYX foundation is water-based and I used a silicone-based primer. But even the ones that I used yesterday were water-based. But they did have the same silicone base as the L'Oreal base. So I may have messed up on that. I don't know why I'm setting my face with this. I have another powder for that. So I'll try this foundation again and try it with the correct primer and see how it lasts, because that could be my error, and that's not fair to put a foundation on with the base. I just wanted to see what this looks like, because it does have some other qualities from other foundations, but it has like the same ingredients, if that makes sense. Probably not. Okay. Sorry, I had to fix it. So, for my face powder, I'm using the Huda Beauty baking powder in Pound Cake. I don't normally use this, mostly because the smell is like really perfumed, which is actually really good. It actually smells really good. Ooh, that's a lot of powder. Okay. Let me, tap off the excess, because I put on a lot of powder. And let me set my face. It's like a snake. Actually, just for giggles, I'm going to use this powder and set it under my eyes too, with the lavender one, because I'm curious to see if I can mix powders. Like, you know, you can mix foundations and you know you'll be fine. I want to see if I can mix powders to get the finish that I want. So like the lavender powder is really brightening for under my eyes. For this, it's really good for baking. So what I want to see is how well these two powders mix together. And just because I feel so generous, I'm gonna leave this on for a while. Oh, a while. But I'm gonna put extra powder as my catching powder. So, if there's any fallout with my eyeshadows, I want to see if this will catch it. I mean, this sponge picks up a lot of powder, like you can tell. And I'm kind of excited about that because I do want to try to save a little bit on powders because a lot of my powders are already expensive. Hint, hint, Huda. $34, sweetie. I'm blowing the powder out of the sides. And actually, I kind of like this because then it leaves leftover powder in case when I do my blush it's too intense, so I just pat over it. Super smart. Okay, so I'm gonna go check on my cat, and if she comes in, oh well. And I will be right back. Okay, guys, so it's a good thing I went out and checked on her because she was trapped in my grandparents' room. That's why she was meowing, because my grandparents' room is literally right next door to mine. And the door was shut, and my grandfather must have went in there and didn't realize she had gone in there. But she is in here with me. So if you hear her rummaging around, she is a curious cat. So she'll be sniffing everywhere because there's new stuff. She's also by my trash can right now. Bella, Bella, come here. Hello, come here. There she comes. You see her tail. She's such a sweet cat. She's a sweetie. Whenever people come over, she hides at first, and then when she gets used to you, she loves you to bits. But for women, you gotta watch out for your purses because she will hop in your purse in a heartbeat. Cats. Gotta love them. Okay, so I don't have any new eyeshadow palettes, so I'm just gonna use some from my from my own collection of eyeshadows. And I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do something cool and colorful and just fantastic, because I haven't done a bright eye look in a hot minute. I mean, I did royal blue, but we don't worry about that. I did the royal blue one, but I want to do something really, really like. So I'm trying to look for the right brushes. Some of them, I'll just use those for right now. So, first things first, I'm going to be going in the Riviera palette, and I'm actually going to take Sails, the white, and put it from eyebrow to lid, because this is the most pigmented white that I own. And I really want a really bright base. Now, normally I would use my NYX eyeshadow base in white, or I would use my ColourPop concealer in white. It's Fair 00, but it's basically white. Belle Belle, I'm in the middle of something, baby. Do you mind waiting for me? Can you wait for me? Please? Why don't you hop up on the bed and go to sleep? Till Mama's done. You guys see her. Belle Belle. finally she talks back. Now she doesn't want to talk. That little girl, come here. What a baby. You love me today, huh? Alright. Let me go let her out, and then I will be back. Okay. She was cussing me out on the way out, but oh well. She'll live. So, for my crease, I'm going to be using the Juvia's Place Zulu palette. And I'm going to be taking the yellow out of here. So, that shade. And I'm going to put it into my crease. And in the crease it goes. Now my brush is a little dirty, so it might mess up the color a little bit, but these eyeshadows are so pigmented, it doesn't even matter. If your brush is stained, if you wipe it off a million times and it just still has color on it, that's what I like about these eyeshadows. Is that they're so pigmented it doesn't even matter. So, when I went out yesterday for my makeup trip of the month, I didn't really see a lot that I was interested in. And I'm kind of bummed about it because like normally around this time, especially with the spring collections, I just didn't see anything that great. Now, when I went out yesterday, I did see Storybrooke Cosmetics, and I really wanted that Wizardry palette. That is my jam. But they were out of it, and I love Storybook Cosmetics. I love like the whole idea behind it, and it's just super fantastic. And I'm kind of bummed that like they didn't have that palette. But it is what it is. I will live. I have makeup I'm thankful for. Okay, so next I'm going to take the orange and I'm going to put this just below where I had the yellow and blend that. I added way too much orange on my brush. I decided just to do this. I do have, out of the stuff that I did get out of Ulta, I am going to do some stuff separate, as separate reviews. Almost poked myself in the eye. Because I really want to test out their ability to work with products that I know. Like I have a new sponge, I have a new Stila Shimmer and Glow that I've never used before. I have a new foundation. It's not really new. But just one I've never used before. And I'm kind of like really excited to try these out. So I'm hoping that they really work. I'm going to go back in with that yellow and blend it a little more. Really get that yellow showing. Because a lot of the times what happens is when I do my transition colors, it gets lost. And that is a color I do want. Okay. Wipe it off. Now, I'm going to take a different brush. What brush do I want to use? why not? I'm going to use this one from the BH Cosmetics Marble Collection. I'm going to go into the Riviera palette, and I'm going to take this bright pink at the bottom called Bahamas. I'm going to take that on my brush. Yeah. And I'm going to put this right below where that orange is, and I'm going to blend it halfway into my crease and into the outer V. Blend that a little bit. This is super pigmented pink, so you don't need a lot. I mean, it blends really nice. Okay. Trying to get as much of that pink off of there as I can. Now I'm going into the Zulu palette again, and I'm going to take the pink out of here. It's like a reddish pink, darker and more on the red side. And I'm going to put this just on the outside of that, just right in the outer corner, and blend. I just realized that my eyes are uneven, so I'm going back in with Bahamas and fixing it a little bit. Putting more of the Bahama shade towards the middle. Blending. Okay. Now, from this palette, from the Riviera palette, I'm going to take Palm, which is this brown. And I'm going to add just a dot of this right in the outer V and tap. Just darken just a little. The reason why I added that darker pink is so it has that gradient from the bright pink to the medium pink to the brown. And I am going to take that darker pink, tap it right in the middle between the bright pink and the brown, and blending it. And I'm going back in with Bahamas and making sure that that's blended too. So. Okay. Now. You see all that fallout. Now what I'm going to do is take this brush. This is a liner brush from Avon, I believe. But what I'm going to do is where there's fallout on the lid, because this is such a rough brush, this is scratchy. What I'm going to do is take a scratchier brush, like this, and I'm going to scratch away the fallout that's on my lids where I'm going to put my lid color. And what this does is it helps. It doesn't quite prevent, but it does help from where you put your lid color on, that it doesn't mix with anything. Instead of putting on, if you're not good at cut creases, this is a good technique to use. And then you can just use your finger and use whatever eyelid color you want. Now, for today, what I'm using the Starlit Cosmetics or Starlit Studio Mythical Liquid Lid Eyeshadow. And this is in the shade, I can't read it, I think it's in Pearl. Now I did use this in my blue and gold tutorial, and the blue was terrible. I mean, it didn't last on me at all. I actually went home and I had to apply more over top. What I'm thinking is that this is like, and when I added the gold in the inner corner, it mixed. So what I'm thinking is this is like a one color only thing. Like you can't mix any of them on the same eye look, which is sad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one and this one alone and see what it does. If it works alone and it's fine, then, you know, it is what it is. But if it mixes with anything, well, it probably would mix with eyeshadow, but if it mixes with anything, you know, else, I don't know what, I can't recommend that these are good, but I can't recommend that they're bad either, because they did last a long time, except for the blue. But once I reapplied it, it lasted a lot longer instead of it being blended out. And the gold lasted there all day long. Even with the Stila Glitter and Glow over top, it still did last. So I think it depends on the color. I just feel like there's an inconsistency there. But in any case, I am going to use this and this alone on my eyes, on my eyelid, and see what happens. So. See, it's already mixing. I mean, it looks pretty, but it mixes with things. Okay, let me see if I can wipe off the brush. Okay, so once I wipe it off, it does clean off all of what was on there before, which is nice. Yeah, but see, it like it's coming off on the man, and these are super pretty. I think it depends on the eye look you want to do for these, because they are really pretty. I'm just tapping at the edges with my finger. Yeah. I got an itch. I apologize. But yeah, I mean, like, it still looks pretty. I mean, it has like the shimmer to it. It's just not pigmented. It's very light. Let me see if I can layer it up, even though I've tried layering it a billion times. But I want to see, I'm really giving this a shot. Huh. Okay, so if you layer it after it dries a little, it works. Okay. See, okay, so basically you let it sit for a little while and then you can layer it over top and it becomes more pigmented. Okay. Now I know what I'm working with. Alright. I was really starting to have my doubts, but when it's done, it's super pretty. Okay, I'm going back in with Bahamas, which is the hot pink. And I'm going to blend the little edges. Tap it out. With these, you can't really drag them. You kind of have to tap the edges. And then I'm going to go back into the darker pink, and I'm going to fade it out, and then I'm going to go back into the brown and fade that out as well. Going back in, just fixing it up, going between the dark pink and the light pink, or the bright pink and the brown, and blending it out. And then I'm going back in with the orange and the yellow, and I'm just going to blend it out. Make sure it looks good. Just to blend everything together. Going back in with the yellow, blending that out. And what I'm going to do is, now that this has had time to dry, I'm going to put on another layer and really define my eyelids. Okay. Okay. So this is the first time I'm using the pearl colored liquid eyeshadow thing. I think it looks really good. It just depends on how you use it. Alright, I'm going back in with the Riviera palette, and I'm going to blend the top edge because it is a little sharper than what I would like. that's it for eyeshadow. Final. Everything just goes back where it goes. I need to take out this one. Oh, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. This one. Okay. Now that we have all of that situated, I am going to take my brush, brush away all this. Woo. I'm going to take my bigger brush, brush away all the powder, because it's been sitting there a while. Interesting. So far, everything looks pretty good. I am going to do... Actually, I don't really feel like I need to do under my eyes, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm in that kind of mood. So I'm going to take the yellow and the orange out of the Zulu powder and put that under my eyes. I'm just doing this. That's literally all I'm doing. Just putting it on my lashes. And I'm taking the orange, putting it in the outer part of my lower lash line. To bring in some more definition. Getting rid of all the orange on there. And I'm going back in with the yellow and blending it. Okay. Now we're good. I don't have any new mascara or any new brow products, but I am going to do my brows and my mascara off camera, so I will be right back. Okay, I am back. For my brows, I used the Maybelline Total Temptation Brow Definer, and I used, for lashes, my Benefit Bad Gang, or Bad Girl Bang, what's it called? Bad Gal Bang mascara from Benefit. I was going to add false lashes to it, but when I put my lashes on, it kind of looked too... It covered up everything, basically. So I just went in with a couple of extra layers of my mascara. And for blush today, I'm going to be using this one. As I'm opening it, as you can hear, is this one from Milani. This is their powder blush, and this is in the shade Coral Cove. It's a really bright corally shade, which I'm already dramatic. I might as well put on more drama. And I am going to use my normal blush brush. It is stained, but I am going to use this. And I'm kind of curious to see this formula. I do like the rose color on there. Okay, let's try this out. Not as pigmented as I thought it would be. It looks pretty though. Look, just use it with my finger and blend it out with the brush. Interesting. I mean, I'm really going in on this blush. That's my table shaking. I mean, I do like it because it's not too pigmented. And so you can have like that little blush of color. Yes, that is my actual sneeze. We don't talk about it. It's bothered me for years. Oh boy. It's terrible. Also, what I noticed while I was doing my brows and my mascara is, I don't know if you can tell, but like right in here, you can see like a little bit. It's breaking up. So, what I am going to do is I am going to reuse this foundation with water-based primer. That was my fault. And now that I'm looking at it, you know, it just didn't settle well with the primer. And I know it's the primer. I mean, I don't know if it's the primer, but I will retry both of them. But I know when I tried this yesterday, it made my makeup last for over 17 hours. So I know that this is definitely the best silicone-based primer. This one does have silicone in it, but like, what does this one have? This was one of the foundations I mixed with it. But this has, if I can open the back, because the ingredients are in the back. This has cyclopentasilicane. I don't know. I'll put it on the screen if I can. If I remember to, because I notice when I edit, I always say stuff that I'm gonna put in the video, and then I don't. So, this has the same ingredients as this one. At least as the first ingredient, which is why I think these two went well. All three of these went well together. So, this one, to my knowledge, doesn't have it, which I think messed it up. So, I will try it again in another video. Putting all my trash on my bed. Now, for bronzer, I have two options. I have the Pure Skin Perfecting Bronzing Act powder. And this is the light. And I heard about this from Raw Christy Beauty. She's been raving about it ever since she tried it in her first impressions. And I've been trying to find something other than my butter bronzer because I always use it. And so here's what it looks like. Kind of looks like a spotted egg. Just saying. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to try this foundation again. So this smells really good. It smells like vanilla. Oh, that smells so good. It's like vanilla cinnamon. Vanilla cinnamon. Oh, that smells good. Okay. So I am going to use this, and I'm just using my regular brush. And I'm going to use this. Ooh. Ooh. Hold on now. Oh. Oh, I am so glad they had this in stock. I literally got the last one of this. I know my brightness is weird. I do have my flash on my phone, so I get better quality stuff. I'm at 35% on my phone. Oh. Hold on. Hold on. You guys gotta see this. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can't see it that well. I mean, you can kind of tell. Maybe if I lessen the... There we go. You see that? How smooth that is? Ooh, I'm super stoked. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna use my other one. I'm going to use the Hoola Light. People have been saying, like, this is perfect. This is, like, the perfect shade, or the perfect bronzer for people of lighter skin. Me. And it always comes in with this little brush. And it comes in a storage thing. So I'm going to try this. Ooh. It smells good though. I'm going to use this over top to see what it looks like. Ooh, that's pretty too. Ooh, I like. Ooh, I like. Like, look at that. Well, I'm going to blend that a little bit. I may actually need to get my blush. Again, the same Milani blush, and blend that a little more. Because I feel like I lost it. Okay. This looks really, really good. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, this looks really good. Okay. Finally, we're on the highlighter. So for a highlighter, I am using the ColourPop Super Shock highlighter in the shade Flexitarian. Flexitarian? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. That means because you flex. Like I can flex. Boom! I flex. See that? Solid. I'm not as strong as I could be. And these are like a cream to powder. Like, these are super weird. They don't have a really strong smell. They smell kind of like plastic. But I think that's because of the actual container, not the formula of this. But look. Ooh, shiny. And then there's that. That's actually really nice. And on the back of my hand, it looks like. Ooh. Does seem a little dark on me, but I don't care. And I am using a new highlighter brush. I know. What? I'm using the Morphe M438. It's this tapered little highlight brush. I'm gonna go right over top. See how this goes on, because I have never used this personally. And what's weird, whoa, is like it breaks apart when you put it in, but that's what it looks like. Okay. Okay. For this, it's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to use my finger and do. super soft. I will give ColourPop that. This is the first time I've ever used their highlighters. I feel like because I added so much powder on my face, it might be not that great. Given I did have a lot of powder on my face. It does look really pretty though, like, boom! Whoa, on camera it looks really blinding. But they're super creamy. And look at that on my finger. Yo, I can almost see my reflection in there. This is where I get obsessed with highlighters. I just keep adding it and adding it and adding it until I overdo it. But it's not necessarily a bad thing to overdo it. Like on camera it looks amazing. Okay, tip of my nose, bridge of my nose, cupid's bow, and my chin. My cupid's bow, and on my chin. It blends really nicely. Look at that. It's like that wet highlighter look instead of the glittery one, which I love. I love like this wet like sheen. At least that's the best way to describe it. And actually, I'm going to put this in my inner corners because that's how cool it looks. Yeah. Oh, all the way. It doesn't look like a lot on camera, but it is actually very creamy and very pretty. And very, oh my goodness. My stomach's growling. I'm gonna put that right where I had the yellow under my eye. Yeah. It does brighten my under eyes. Just nice. Okay, I'm actually super stoked. The brush I'm going to try with one of my powder highlighters. I feel like with this formula, it just didn't go too well with the brush. So you're probably better off with anything with fingers with this. And I will be keeping that brush from the bronzer. I put it up here with the other one. And my light just went out. Here we go. So I will be trying this again with one of my powder highlighters. And I'm actually super excited about that. I'm super stoked. Okay, now for the bottom part here to carve it out, I am taking the rest of that powder from my sponge. Kind of blending it a little. Okay, now for lips, I am using the Maybelline Matte Ink. Now this is not a first impressions. I have used this formula. This is a new shade that I wanted to try. So this is in the shade Poet. And ooh, it dripped on me. Wonderful. I'm gonna try this out. Ooh. Oh, I like that shade. Oh, and it goes so well. I like this. I know I'm way out of frame, but I need to be close up for my lips. To make sure I get the precision right, or as close to what I want. So, for setting spray, Urban Decay All Nighter, because I'm feeling myself right now. And what's the other one I want to use? We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, All Nighter. Yeah, that feels good. I'm so excited. Oh. It does look, the highlighter does look dark on me, like I do see it's casting a shadow. But when I turn towards the light, ooh, I actually don't mind the cast on my face. A lot of people do, like you can see where it's dark, but I don't mind. Because when I turn, it's like, boom. Okay, so I'm almost out of this, which is why I'm using it. This is the Milani Make It Dewy Setting Spray. I normally put on a regular setting spray first, and then I put on like a dewy finish one. I'm almost out of this, and I don't think I will be purchasing this. I mean, I love it, but it's just I have so much right now that I need to use up. So, until I am done with that. But this is a really good product for people who like dewy skin stuff. This is it. And also during the day, what I use when my makeup starts looking cakey, I use this. This is the Pixel Vitamin Wake Up Mist with orange blossom and citrus extracts. And what this does is basically revives your makeup. It makes it not so cakey, and it kind of melts it back in place. So, back to the Milani thing. Just thought I'd give that a shout out. I have been using this for a while. I am going to do a separate review of this with my face. But this probably the same look. So, this is coming up in a review. Just so you know. Spoiler alert. Okay, back to this. Get this over with, Kayla. That looks so good. Okay. On to natural light. Okay. Here it is with natural light. So, as you can see, from far away, you can see the cast. And then you see the blinding highlight. So what I will do with this is I will mix it with one of my other... I just realized I got setting spray all over me. What I'll do is I will mix it with one of my other highlighters and do that, but this is what it looks like in my eyes. I mean, as you can see where the inconsistency was with the eyeshadow, but I mean, other than that, this does look really pretty. I am pretty happy with it. I will be trying the foundation again. As you can see, it doesn't look too pretty, especially right in here. I will be trying that again. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, subscribe, like, do whatever you want, comment. yeah, I know this was super long. I am going to be doing other stuff back to back, probably using this makeup look. So if it looks a little funny, that's just it. So I will see you guys next time, and you guys have an awesome day.